What is up? This is MLB Talk 123. I've been gone for a few weeks. I've been in Michigan for a few times. I've played a lot of shows with my band. Anyway, getting past that, I've definitely missed some major news. Number one, the Brew Crew have traded for Francisco Rodriguez. A big deal that went down. Went down about maybe a week ago or so. It was the first deal of the trade deadline. It was a pretty big deal to start off with. Everyone pretty much knew that Francisco Rodriguez was probably going to be traded. The only way he was not going to be traded is if teams really felt like they're not going to take the chance with him or money issues. But that was all settled. What happened was he was sent to the Mets for two players to be later named, and the Mets ate up all of his salary, or most of his salary. I think the Brewers only had to pay remaining salary or something like $500K or something. I'm not exactly sure, but the main thing is the Mets pretty much paid for K-Rod. Then they figured it out to where K-Rod, for a little bit of money, he said, the option that would vest if he closed a certain amount of games, for next season, like of $17 million. That's not going to happen. So he's going to be a free agent after this season again, because that vesting option is cut off. So he's going to be a free agent. The Brewers can use him in save situations if John Axford doesn't, starts to struggle. But he's done a great job this season for the Brewer Crew. But he will, be setting up a big deal for the Brewers. Is going to really help their bullpen. As a Cardinal fan, the Cardinal. I don't think this is a Cardinals year. They might get lucky and win the division, and they also might win the World Series somehow. It might be like the '06 year where it's not the best team, but with this rotation and the Cardinals are having struggling without Wainwright, their bullpen is a big issue. And the Brewers, they have a decent bullpen, but to get Francisco Rodriguez and then John Oxford, setting up and closing, is much better than what the Cardinals have option wise. So for kind of a call and answer thing for GMs, look for maybe the Cardinals to go out and make a deal. They're definitely going to try to get a starter and move Kyle McCollum back to relief, but I'd also love to see them get a guy like just a reliever from a team that's really going to help their bullpen but not give up too much, because like I said, I think they're going to be better in the future than they are this year. But for the Brew Crew, they're going all in. They got in the offseason getting Greinke and getting Markham. Those are their middle infield. That was the future of their middle infield that they gave away in those two deals. They gave away Escobar, and they gave away Brett Lowry, who's a second baseman, and he's a pretty top prospect second baseman. And I'll say there's Escobar, who has kind of struggled in Kansas City at the beginning of the year, but he's starting to really hit. And that guy, he's gonna have a really good future. I feel like in Kansas City or wherever he plays for the majority of his career, probably Kansas City. But that's their middle infield has been the problem, other than Ricky Weeks, of course. Just basically shortstop and third base have been problems for them this year. If Casey McGee was batting much better than he is, kind of what he did last year, this team offense-wise is already just a scary offense. Offensively, this team would be even better. This offense is just scary, though, because the fact that it has Ryan Braun, Prince Fielder, Ricky Weeks at the top of that lineup. And you got guys like Jonathan LaCroix that has come up really big for them too, for catching. So this team is a scary team. It really is. And you got I know that Carlos Gomez got hurt, and the Brewers might be thinking about center field options, but the play that they've gotten from Nigel Morgan has been really great. He just looks like a total different guy than what he did in Washington. And I really like Nigel Morgan in Pittsburgh. He thought he was a really good player, but he's really blossomed in Milwaukee. So it'll be interesting to see what they do with that whole outfield situation. But really, this team is a scary team, and now that they have K-Rod, it's really bolstering their bullpen, and it's really going to help them down the stretch. Have a pretty solid back of the bullpen. If they have a lead, you're going to feel pretty confident with Francisco Rodriguez adding to that bullpen to make sure that they hold that lead and close it out. So, Brewers definitely upgrade on this one. They didn't even have to give too much for this. The Mets really just trying to get him off their hands. And at this point, they're not going to get back in the race. So 2 minor leaguers might help him in the future. Who knows? But yeah, that's the deal. The Milwaukee Brewers have traded for Francisco Rodriguez. MLB Talk 1, 2, 3. Thanks for watching, guys.